Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ucore's channel, securing North Americans' basically critical metal industry. And joining to discuss just that, we have the privilege of Pat, the CEO. First and foremost, welcome, sir.
Hey Kyle, how you doing? Nice to be here.
Living the dream and a pleasure to get you on. So, for newer investors, you're starting to see some momentum in your stock. The company's heading into an intriguing place. So, for newer audiences, maybe just give us a high-level overview and elevator pitch to what your technologies are and exactly what you're doing there at Ucore.
Yeah, sure. The 21st century energy transition is really once in a generation opportunity, and you hear a lot of talk about batteries for EVs and battery storage and whatnot. But a lot of what drives this world forward, whether it's wind energy, electric vehicles, advanced air mobility, robotics, it's all with permanent magnets. And permanent magnets are the most efficient means of converting electrical energy into mechanical energy. You might say, well, what does that all mean? Well, quite frankly, all of these technologies, all the motion, all the activity that makes this happen, it's driven by critical minerals that are called rare earth. And these rare earths are not that rare, but they're very difficult to separate and put into individual seeds of technology, as the Japanese call it, to be able to use them to make permanent magnets. And these permanent magnets really drive this 21st century energy transition. China controls the market. They control the mining of the rare earth market. They control the separation to the fine oxides. Upwards of 85, 90% of separation refining happens in China. So you really can't develop a downstream Western world technology to support all these 21st century green transitions unless you have a Western supply chain. So Ucore has found a technology 3, 4 years ago now. They've taken that technology, they've evolved it to a point where we're ready to start processing refining rare earth oxides that can be used to develop a downstream supply, which then allows you to make metals, alloys, and permanent magnets that drive these technologies: wind energy, electric vehicles, advanced air mobility, and robotics. You might think robotics, where does that fit? Well, actually, by 2030, robotics, or by 2035, robotics will probably be the largest user of permanent magnets in the world. There's all kinds of AI that needs robotics to help execute and carry forward, and we're right in the middle of it all. So we're using our technology known as Rapid SX technology, and we've got a commercial demonstration plant in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. We're building our first refining plant on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana, and all that engineering work's going on right now. So we're pretty excited by being a first mover in the American market, in the Western market, quite frankly, with these separated oxides that it's a matter of national security, Kyle. So there we are.
So, on the forefront of commercialization, I mean, what are you guys paying most attention to heading into 2025, and what should investors focus on?
Well, heading into 2025, obviously, we can talk about the size of markets, and people talk about the rare earth oxide market. They go, gee, by 2035, it'll be a $40 billion market. But at the end of the day, the markets don't buy anything. The customers buy things. So from a Ucore vantage point, we've been entertaining and working with customers that are actually the downstream customers that can actually use these products. And it's such a scarce market in North America that your actual customers outside of China are primarily in Japan, they're in South Korea, and they're in Europe. And so Ucore has been working quite extensively over the past year to develop relationships with these downstream customers that will, in fact, buy the product, turn it into usable permanent magnets that go into these various applications that can move forward. So we'll hear about some of these offtakes in that regard. It takes feedstock in order to refine and move forward. And there hasn't been a rare earth mine opened in North America in the past 50 years. There's been one in the past 50 years. It's the Mountain Pass mine. So all your feedstock has to come from outside America. And your most promising feedstocks are in Brazil. We've been there. We've talked to a lot of the mines in that particular area. They're developing projects. Australia, another promising area, Malaysia as well, Vietnam. And those particular areas are really needed to bring feedstock into America, into Louisiana, where our first processing facility will be, to turn it into final products. You'll hear some of those deals coming together. We're also quite entrenched with the U.S. Department of Defense. The U.S. Department of Defense heard about our technology a little over a year ago, and they stepped up and said, why don't we invest in running many hours on your tech in your Kingston development plant and just sort of prove out the tech so we can transfer it into the U.S. market on the Gulf Coast. And the US government is very intrigued by what they've seen so far. They've invested $4 million US to date just to run hours on the plant. We've run thousands of hours on our commercial demo plant, but now they're stepping up in a bigger way and saying, okay, let's commercialize this technology. So look for more activity out of the US DoD to be able to help us go forward and bring our commercial plans to fruition for this very much needed national security and 21st century transition.
Yeah, on that note, I'm going to pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section and consider subscribing as news catalysts come down the wire. Of course, we're going to bring it to you here. But on that note, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.